Hey, this week on your Workshop Wednesday is What's New, May 2023. My name is Julie Brody. I am the Director of Measurement for MeasurementMarketing.io, and I've been building actionable dashboards since 2007, been a measurement marketer inside this digital world since 2015, and then have been teaching measurement marketing to all kinds of different types of companies since 2017. I'm also the lead account manager for all of our dedicated measurement management clients and truly enjoy helping everyone out. And you probably have seen me back there for those of you that are Academy members in Ask an Instructor. You've seen us back there in the courses and the workshops and Ask an Instructor. So if you're back there, reach out, say hi. We'd love to hear from you. So as you go through this workshop, please remember the one thing. We're going to have lots of different new things coming at you in this particular workshop. Find something that you can take and apply today, then come back, watch it again, and get something else to take it. Don't get overwhelmed, get one thing. So let's go ahead and get started with what's new for May 2023. As we start, I want to go through our very core foundation, something that we call our measurement marketing framework. It starts out with 3 simple steps. You have to plan, build, and launch. And what you're trying to do is go from having this chaotic marketing where you're marketing in the blind. You don't know what's working, what's not, and you want to be able to market so you're reliably growing those revenue and profits. What does that mean? That you know what button to push, you know where to increase traffic and where to change stuff so that things actually start growing the way you want them to. And the way to do that is you plan. And I'm slowing down a little bit because we're going to talk about this as we go through the updates because it's really important for you to understand your plan in order to, if you know to make certain changes or not. So when you plan, you have to know what questions you need to answer. What questions what questions do you have? And with those questions, the information you need and the actions you need to be able to take. This is really important. I want you to make sure you kind of think through this because it's going to be really important to know if you need to change certain settings that are a new update. So kind of think through that, get that in your brain, and we're going to go on to our build step. So this is where you need to understand the results from those actions and the information and questions and understand the traffic from those results, and then put the story together, kind of understanding what is happening. This is what most of us want. We want to understand the story so that we can launch, meaning listen, forecast, and optimize. All of us want to be able to go into a dashboard or some sort of report and be able to understand what the heck it's telling us so that we can optimize. So that is our measurement marketing framework. If you want to know more, I'll tell you at the very end of this workshop how to get to a free course access to that. That is our measurement marketing framework course, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. So let's go ahead and continue on with what's new May 2023. I remember in 2022 it kind of came up like it was just really easy to say what's new in 2022. It kind of doesn't flow off the tongue very easy with 2023. So let's go ahead and get started anyway. For Google Analytics 4, I'm actually really excited to show you some cool things that are going on with Google Analytics 4. So let's go ahead and bring it over. And there's always things changing in this platform. And one little note is some of the things that we're going to talk about may not be available to you yet. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a moment when we get to some of the other ones. But these that I'm about to show you right now, this one, you should have. So the very first thing is we're going to go into events. We're basically in our account and in our property. We're going to go to our events, and then we're just going to choose something simple to create an event. I'm going to choose whatever data stream. And we're just going to come in here to create. I just want to show you something that is an option is now you have the ability to go ahead and change stuff to have regular expressions inside of here. So we're not going to go ahead and do this, but this was not an option before. So it was really hard to kind of group things together if you want it to be this or this or this. So it is really nice that you're able to have a little bit more logic. So that's the first update that happened in the past few weeks that we wanted to make sure that you're aware of. The next one is something happened with our conversions. And so currently in Google Analytics 4, we have events, and then we can have an event that's marked as a conversion. And so just like a little toggle, super simple, easy. And so right now, actually I take that back, not right now. 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when you had a conversion, the default was it's every single time. So, meaning every single time someone did this action, whatever it is, this number would go up, this count would go up, which is a lot of times perfectly fine. And this goes back to our framework we were mentioning at the beginning of this workshop, the questions, information, and action. And so in order to know if you need to change for this update, you need to know what questions you have. So if you're saying, well, I don't really need it to be a count, I want it to happen only one time. And that is actually the update. So we're not going to be able to do it here because I want to show you real quick. If we click on these three dots, we don't have an option here. And it's kind of confusing because it looks like very, very similar to the next page we're going to go to, which is conversions. In order to do what I'm about to show you, you have to be under conversions. And then we have our three dots here. So now we have an option to change counting method. I'm actually going to do this under the generate lead because this is typically the one you probably would possibly want to change. So let's go ahead and go to counting method. So now our options, as just a few weeks ago, is once per event. That's what we've been having for GA4 like forever. Like that's the standard one that we have. The recommended. However, what if you have like 5 opt-ins and every single one of them fires this generate lead? And you're seeing that, even though your new lead is actually going up like maybe 100, you're actually seeing 500 generate leads. It's because they're opting in for all 5 of them. So in order to give you a more useful truth and answer the question you need, going back to that framework, we want to change it to once per session. And so obviously it's going to kind of give a little disclaimer about that. So you would only change this if it's going to help you answer a question. I think generate lead is a very valid one to change once per session if that answers the question that you're trying to answer. And so if they were opting in for multiple and you wanted to count that, you could do once per event. Or you can, if you just want to know once, like just if they do it at all in the session, don't care how many times, once per session. And we can go ahead and save, and there we go. And we can even see this counting method has changed, and we can see the difference there. So obviously we can go through and adjust if we need to. We can just switch it back, no big deal. So that is a big change. This actually, the once per session, was the old universal way of doing it. Universal analytics, the old GA3 way of doing it. So I'm kind of glad they brought that back because it makes sense for things like this. And so you're like, well, what about, what if you do want to know about all of those other opt-ins? You want to know what they're opting in for? Well, that's okay. You can absolutely, I'm going to pull this down to make it a little bit more space. You can go ahead and give yourself other events like custom events, which we highly encourage you to do for each one of your different opt-ins, or your lead magnets. So this is one of our lead magnets here. And if we were to have another one, let's say it was a workshop lead magnet, it could be workshop aware, workshop complete, and workshop engage. And the complete one is telling us the ones that opted in. And so that way we can see the ones that opted in for this one, and we can see the total number of users that do it here, no matter which one they opted in for, so that we are still able to answer our questions. So if you have any questions for us to know which one will be right for you or not, just reach out to us with Ask an Instructor support, and we'll be happy to give guidance on that. The next fun thing that changed is, we're going to pop back over here to our admin section, is under our data settings, and we're going to click under data collection. Excuse me. Just kidding, we're talking about attribution settings. This is one that we want to go to. So there have been some recent changes in April of 2023 regarding the attribution model. They are getting rid of some attribution models. So you want to pay attention to see if you have something that's being sunsetted or something like that. You can click on the learn more to find those. We're not going to go through every single one of them, but obviously they're still kind of having this cross-channel, or we technically don't recommend data-driven just because we don't like them guessing for us. But we like last click because that just helps us give us the most useful truth. But some of the other ones that are going away, I'm just going to let you know real quick what those are. It is the first click, linear, time, decay, and position based are the ones that are sunsetting. That's the word Google Analytics is using. We don't have any exact dates. My guess is they will probably, if you don't change them yourself, they will probably flip over to data driven. Total guessing, that's what they're going to do. But yes, so you just want to be aware of which one you need to change it to. The other update that kind of goes along with this is for Google Ads. If you have Google Ads, it is getting better for those with Google Ads is that before, if you had somebody that had seen a Google ad and then came back at a later time, it wasn't given any credit to Google Ads. But now, as of a few weeks ago, it's starting to have that kind of that cross-channel attribution, and you'll be able to see those more in your advertising report. So we're not seeing quite as much data, obviously, because we're not running Google Ads right now. But if you are, just kind of be aware of that. Make sure that you're on the proper one. But if you have questions about that, please reach out to us at Ask an Instructor Support. We'll be happy to guide you with that one as well. Okay, I know we're still in Google Analytics, and normally by this time we're probably done with the What's New workshops, but guess what? It just keeps getting better. All right, so something happened, and technically it hasn't even been released yet, but we started seeing some kind of post on YouTube like, oh, I can do this now. And then crazy enough, so this is my main account. This is the one I have access to. And I am able to do this, but our other team members cannot do this yet. So I'm going to show you what you would expect to see. So we're going to create a new property, and we're going to call this testing okay to delete. So that way, when we do delete it, no one freaks out that we're doing something we're not supposed to. I'm going to show you this real quick just so you can see what's happening here. And it's not even allowing you to do this, so that's okay. We're going to go ahead and say next. And so if you're seeing this right here, this is the new way of setting up your property. Not everyone has access, so we're expecting that it's going to be kind of a slow drip. I got access like literally in about a week ago, and this probably people started seeing it about 3 weeks ago. So it's been a very slow drip, and our team members still don't have access to it. So it's kind of random, even though I'm not the main admin. Mercer's obviously the main admin, and he does it. So just kind of be aware. One thing to note, you can go ahead and choose whatever it is you want. Let's say this, and we're going to say we're that, and we're going to go ahead and say next. This is the other super important part. So you now have new reports, and I'll show you what these are here in just a moment. But I'm going to give you a pro tip. This is really important so you don't give yourself a freaking headache later. Do not, I repeat, do not choose one and create. This is going to be a pain in the butt for you later. What we recommend you do is go ahead and choose this here. And I will show you real quick what happens if you try to choose all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you choose this one, it deselects everything else. So what this baseline is what we're already used to with Google Analytics 4. It's the ones that you've probably seen on all the different trainings if you don't already have it, Google Analytics 4. The really cool thing is these reports are kind of giving that verbiage that we're used to, and we'll show you what that means in just a moment. But because of the way the clunky interface is to get these reports, to get this stuff back, we recommend you choose this, and it's really easy to add these in, and we'll show you how to do that right now. So it's easy for you. So we're going to go ahead and create, and then we're going to go ahead and skip, and then we're going to continue to home. We're just kind of zooming through this. We're going to skip for now. Okay, now let's go to all that fun stuff. And we're going to go to reports, and this is kind of what we're used to. Okay, so now we're going to go to library, and we're going to give it a moment to load. This is the new stuff. So if you already have a Google Analytics 4 account, you don't have to go create a new property to get this. All you have to do is go into your reports, go to your library. If you've had your GA4 property for 3 years already, just go to your library, and what you're going to do is click on here and say publish. We're going to give it a moment, and we should see it pop up over here. If you don't see this, maybe it might be dripping out, but we saw this before we could do the see it in when we were creating a new property. This part came first. It was kind of hidden. It snuck in there. There are no Google documentations about this yet. So this is kind of like happening on the fly. So we have our business objectives. This is something called generate leads. And it's basically the same thing we have in the life cycle over here, but just in a better verbiage. And so we have this. So now you're probably saying, hey, Julie, well, why did we do the life cycle first at all instead of just selecting those? Well, because it's a big pain in the butt to get life cycle if you ever want it back. So if we don't want to see life cycle, we're just going to come over here and unpublish. And so that way we only have here. Now, I assume in the future that Google will make it easier to get the life cycle if you don't have it selected in the beginning. But the other part of this is if you want to say create a new collection, this was the kicker. And we went through in some of our mastermind calls and tried this in so many different ways. So I'm telling you what we figured out. And obviously we'll let you know if this changes. But if we chose this, like let's say we only selected generate lead when we were creating our account. If we chose this, then the only thing that was available to us was the generate lead. We could not get these other guys. We would have to rebuild it ourselves, which again was a pain to do. So we're saving you time, saving you frustration. And so like we mentioned, just go to the life cycle, select that one, and then publish your business objectives, and you can unpublish life cycle. That's the most current truth of the easiest way to deal with this. And we'll let you know if that changes. So that is the update for creating a new property. And now I'm going to go back into our Google Analytics 4 main property, the one we teach and stuff from. And I will show you something really cool that is not here yet. So what is happening? This update just came out and it is not with us yet. I have not seen it. You might see it before me. So if you do, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. But basically, we are now being able to have a funnel report inside of here somewhere. I don't know how to get to it yet. So basically, I'm going to scan through. So basically, we need to create a funnel inside our exploration, and then it's saying click Save in the top right hand to save the exploration as a report. So then the button's only visible to editors and administrators. I am an admin and I'm definitely an editor, and I can come into an exploration and I cannot. So this one is one that's been here forever. We've had this one for a while. And I don't see anything in the top right. I can go through all the things. I would expect it to be up here somewhere. And there's nothing there. I can show you all the different things. We're going to cancel. This is just export, all of that. There's nothing in here that says save. I'm going to zoom out to make sure we're not seeing any buttons. So no, we're good. So this one's been here forever. So I thought, well, let's create a brand new one for the sake of this workshop. Let's zoom out. Sorry, making you dizzy. And then actually I'm going to choose this just to double check. So nothing here either. So I created a new one just to kind of see, is it something we would need to recreate? And it's not here either, unfortunately. So we'll probably have another workshop to tell you what all of this looks like, but just know that that is coming and I am really excited for it. Super, super excited because I think that'll help answer a lot of questions for us, our clients, our members. So just know that this is constantly changing day by day. And as you see with creating property and those new reports, sometimes we get told about it, sometimes we don't. So if you see something that is super cool and new, please let us know. We'll be excited to hear with you. All right, now I'm going to jump back in because we've been going for a while with Google Analytics. What's new with Tag Manager? Super quick. There's lots of things happening with server side, mainly kind of saying things like, oh, if you're using Google or old Universal, go ahead and change it. So there's nothing really to show with Tag Manager. So just know if you're using Google Tag Manager and server side that there's been some updates, but it's mainly just kind of making sure that you're using Google Analytics 4. Now, with Looker Studio, some super fun, cool updates are happening with Looker Studio too. I'm going to show you what your end result could look like first. And so this is something new. These are a single piece scorecard. So what it's able to do, and again, going back to the questions, question, information, action, we want to be able to take quick action to understand what's going on, what's the story. And so right now, what we're able to see is for this particular funnel that the actual is 190. The goal, the forecast was 278. So we're only at 68%. And then the leads, again, actual to forecast, and sales from this very particular path. Again, only one from this particular path. We're trying to get to 3. So very quickly, we're like, hey, why didn't we get the sales? Well, it's because we didn't get the leads. Well, why didn't we get the leads? Because we didn't get the traffic. So the immediate action is get more traffic. It's no guessing at all. So, but the cool thing with Looker Studio, this is all one piece. That's not a thing that we've had in the past. So I'm going to come back in to a different document, our little playground that I have coming on for us. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to zoom in so we can see all this. This is a typical scorecard. So if we come in and we were to want to add a chart, it's this guy right here, scorecard. And we can even see that by it's highlighted there. So in this first, I'm going to get rid of that. In this first tab, we have these options here. Well, this. We have a spark line, which we'll talk about in just a moment, and we have this comparison option. So we're just going to go ahead and do a metric for now. And what does metric mean? Well, it's saying you need to compare it to another value. So if you had a spreadsheet that had a goal, that would be perfect. We'd be able to go and grab this. But since I don't have that in this particular example one, we're not going to worry about that one. However, if you know a value, like meaning I need to get to a certain amount of either traffic or users or whatever it is, leads in a certain period, you can just hard code the value. So this one is, let's say 3,500 is what we had in there, and we can show as progress. What does that do? Let's make this bigger so we can see. It gives us a progress bar. We're able to see that. And the starting value, that's us playing around with this before. So now you're able to very quickly see where your forecast is, what your actual is, and where you're at to be on the way. And you do have all the different styling options. So if you need to change the colors and all the other fun stuff, it is fantastic to be able to use that. Now the spark line, let's uncheck this. I'm going to change it back to none. And now we see our spark line. And so this dimension is where we can choose to add it to a date. And so this, and if we go into our view mode, we can kind of see what's going on. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to see without having the dates there. But if it helps you tell the story, then awesome, keep using that. And then you obviously compare it to that as well and just keep it that way. We really like this way because it really solves the issue of kind of having that visual component of having that there. And then, super cool, coming back over here, progress visual. What does that mean? That's the bar. Let's circle. It's a pie chart. And then none would be obviously that right there. So we're going to come back to our little bar, or we can have circles. And if we wanted to make this a little bit more of a square, and you're like, ooh, I don't like how that's offset, guess what? You still have your options to make things symmetrical and centered and all of that fun stuff. So this could be another way of showing you your progress by using that. So that is one of your Looker Studio updates. Another one of your updates is there's a new control where we can add a button. And so this is where you can choose the button. So you want to do a navigation. What does that mean? So we can insert a link, and that's where we can choose the different pages that we want it to go, or a different URL possibly. Put UTMs on your sales page, like, hey, this is the sales page. Report actions. What does that mean? You want to invite people, get report link, so that way it's really easy for your other team members to get the report link to share, download, and reset filters. I absolutely freaking love this one to reset filters because this is kind of hard to explain to people, or sometimes those little, they're kind of hidden unless you hover over them. This is fantastic. Love, love, love. The other thing that you can do is reset set filters. You can type it in, so does it. Then you obviously have all the different style options and everything. I highly encourage you to go ahead and round those edges so that way it looks like a button. And then finally, the other one is filter. And this is where you can then, this is not a good data set to do this with, but you can filter, like if you want to say Facebook or Google Ads or whatever it is that you want to filter, you have that option there. We liked using that with the other options like the tables or the other drop downs, but that is a cool thing that you could do there. I really like this way, so that way it's easy for our end users to use that. One thing I really wish they would do is allow us to insert an emoji in here, make it a little bit easier, so that way it can give a visual cue, kind of like that one does. So those are your updates for Looker Studio as of right now. Let's go ahead and close this up. So what's new with Measurement Marketing Academy? Lots of fun stuff going on. So for those of you that are Measurement Marketing Academy members for Academy for Marketers or Academy for Professionals, you have access to a brand new WIN course that's actually being recorded live this week, and it is WIN Building a Measurement Marketing Agency. So far it's been a fantastic turnout, lots of great questions. So if you're not able to attend live, it's already, the recordings are being already placed back there as it happens, and then in the upcoming week or two it'll be switched out for the edited versions and stuff. But so far it's been a great course for that. Coming up with what's going on in the academy, we have lots of courses that are coming out over the summer. Most people take vacations in the summer. Apparently we got a wild hair and decided we are going to knock out 8 courses in the summer where we normally would do 3. Just because there's so much stuff coming out, we want to make sure you have it. So in June, we are going to be doing WIN the Measurement Marketing Framework, WIN Shopify, and WIN Analytics Canvas. And then in July, WIN Measuring the User Journey, WIN Measuring Paid Traffic, and then WIN Measuring Unpaid Traffic. And then finally in August, which we do have courses that are happening in September, October, November, and all that fun stuff, but this is just giving you a little heads up. In August, we'll be doing WIN Looker Studio Basics, another update to that one, as well as WIN Understanding Traffic Attribution. So lots of great stuff happening inside the Academy over the next several months. So what was your one thing? I hope you were able to find something in all of that awesome data that was coming at you. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and remember your Measurement Marketing Framework. If you want to get the whole course and understand what all these different parts and pieces are and how you can apply it to your marketing, you can go ahead and jump into the Measurement Marketing Academy as a free Toolbox member. So you get all of these awesome tools for free, plus the course I just mentioned to you, WIN the Measurement Marketing Framework. As if you want to join the Measurement Marketing Academy, we have all kind of other different courses back there, workshops that you see we teach live at least once a month, sometimes more than that. And you have Ask Instructor Support, the Winner Circle, all kinds of other different things back there for you. If you want to learn more, just go to measure.tips/getacademy. You can join the free toolbox, get that free course back there. Or if you have any questions, just let us know. We're always happy to help. And if you're already a Measurement Marketing Academy member and have a question about something else, reach out to Ask Instructor Support. We're always happy to help. And that's what's new, May 2023. We'll see you next time.